Hey guys, Adam here with another LFM set for Sprint, Season 9, Week 10, Kyalami. I ground this track out to come up with a good setup because I don't know this track because ACC is the only sim where I can run this track, and I have probably up until I was getting ready for this week, less than an hour's worth of drive time here. So I really had to put in some laps to get a good setup, one that's going to be stable yet aggressive enough to run some low lap times on LFM Sprint race fuel, so 46 liters. I am currently running low 42s, which I feel are going to be more than fast enough for LFM Sprint this week. Top split guys, the aliens, they're going to be running low 40s, so about 2 seconds off of that pace, but those are aliens. I don't judge my lap times based off of those, but I think aliens excluded, these lap times with this setup is more than competitive for LFM Sprint this week. So let's go ahead, we'll jump right in. Bear in mind my setup tire pressures here are done with the track temps at 27C, as you can see up on the top there. In my setup name, this is my race set. The only thing I'm doing for the quali set is I'm dropping the fuel from 46 down to 16 liters and making no other changes other than that. I played a lot with camber, caster, toe to try to find a good setup. I'm not running any more camber than this because there's really no need. 0.3 degrees of toe in on the rear just to kind of help the car be a little stable. You can reduce this a little bit if you want to get a little more rotation on corner exit, maybe as low as like 0.27, 0.25 even. That'll really help with corner exit, but I'm going to explain why I'm running it at 3. So right now TC 1 and 2 I've got at 3 and 3. I'm only doing that for about the first 2 to 3 laps in an LFM sprint race. Probably lap 3 at the absolute latest, more than likely lap 2. We're already going to have enough rubber on the track. I'm dropping both TCs down to 2 and 2. That's going to kind of keep the traction control from intervening when you're just putting your foot to the floor out of turn 1. And then whatever that turn number is up at the top of the hill, I can never remember that. 2 and 2, this car has enough grip with this setup to be able to run 2 and 2 here this week. And you'll be good to go, but keep it at 3 and 3 for the first lap or 2, maybe even lap 3. If you find that that's still working for you really well, just leave it. But I'm noticing that after lap 2 or 3, when the track is rubbered in, I'm good to go and drop it to 2 and 2, 46 liters of fuel, no change there. Front and rear roll bars at 2 and 3. The brake bias, you're going to find it's rolled all the way back almost to 46 this week. You can even roll it back a little further if you want to risk putting in a little more heat to those rear tires. I 46 was kind of a good balance. I would not run any further forward than that though, because then you kind of have to start braking earlier for turn 1, and if you're braking early for turn 1, you're going to lose a lot of time there. We don't want to do that. You'll notice here something really wild about this track is I am running a stiffer spring in the rear this week. Normally I would never consider doing that, but this car has a lot of high speed corners that kind of necessitated me running much stiffer in the back than I am in the front. Coming down the hill, my foot is right to the floor. I've got no issues with losing grip in this setup, even in turn 4 or 5, I forget which one it is, but it's that kind of that fast downhill right-hander. You just got to lift a little bit. Normally when you lift in a corner like that in the Porsche, the rear end wants to snap around on you. I have not found that to be the case with the way this current setup is. Dampers, I'm going to leave this, or just recommend that you pause this for a second so you can jot this down and copy this over into your own setup. This was working really well for me. This track is not bumpy, so we don't need a lot of fast bump and fast rebound damping, but I found that running just a little bit in the front and even less so in the rear just kind of helped smooth out the car over the curbs. If you ran just a little wide, you know, it kind of kept the car from getting a little out of control. But the regular standard bump, I'm running it a little soft to allow the car to kind of roll through the corners a little bit, just to kind of get up more on the outside tires. Aero, I don't really ever change anything here from track to track. Rear ride height's at 75 millimeters with full fuel. I could probably bump that up to 76 and the car's still going to be okay, but now we're getting the rear wing up in the air a little bit more than I'd like, and the Porsche is already slow down the straightaway when compared to just about every other car in ACC right now, thanks to its the current aero nerf that it has with this 1.8.21 patch. So that's it. Let me know how this works for you. If you do run it at Kyalami in LFM Sprint this week for week 10 of season 9, just please post in the comments below and let me know what you thought of the setup. Just remember, we're not here for a very long time, so be cool to each other out there, and I will see you in the next video.